Hello and welcome to my 7th review. Today I am reviewing The Simpsons Hit and Run. Just kidding. I'm actually reviewing Lara Croft Tomb Raider Legend. I was going to review Hit and Run, but what the fuck is this, kid who used to own this game? How did it get so scratched? It won't even start up. Looking through the games I got with the PS2 for one to review, I realized something pretty quickly. Aside from the classic games that everyone with a PS2 owned, the kid I bought this console from had pretty shit taste in games. I'm never going to review a racing or sports game. Ever. That would be boring as hell. I'd sooner review Modern Warfare because at least that would have some kind of entertaining footage of me failing miserably. Also, how can you have a Crash Bandicoot racing game but not an actual Crash game? And on a final note, I will let Finding Nemo slide because I got suckered into this game too, except for the Game Boy. Maybe I'll review both of these someday. Let's just get to the actual review. This game was released for the 10th anniversary of the Tomb Raider series. It's another game that was released on every console ever, even Game Boy. I can't even imagine how that went, but whatever. I'm sure you all know Lara Croft. She may first of all be known for some enhanced features, but that's something I'd rather not start fights about. Lara is a British archaeologist in search of ancient relics. I'd call her a female Indiana Jones, but there's no way he could pull this shit off. Anyway, story. The story starts with a young Lara on an airplane with her mother. Apparently something hits the plane and they end up crashing. And according to my research, this is one of many origin stories for Lara, but there is usually a plane crash involved. Fun. There are more flashbacks in the game that detail this origin story, including how her mother disappeared when Lara messed with some ancient ruins. You would think this would have put her off archaeology and taught her to stay away from evil magical artifacts, but I guess some people just never learn. The real story begins in Bolivia.
You know, I think you forgot your climbing gear on purpose.
What would give you that idea?
I would say Lara is stupid for not bringing climbing gear, but apparently she's part Spider-Man, so she should be okay. Also, was that flip really necessary? So you head towards some ruins and find some terrifying, generic henchmen. Okay. Further on in the temple, you meet this sunglasses guy. You can tell he's evil because his shirt isn't buttoned up all the way. Anyway, he says something about a friend of Laura's who she believed to be dead.
Amanda said you were sloppy. You should have paid more attention in Paraíso.
Amanda? Amanda's dead. What the hell do you know about Paraíso?
We're done talking.
I'm gonna say no way to this. It's just not possible. I mean, when in any story has a character that the protagonist thought was dead turned out to be alive? That's just not something that happens. So basically this game is just about Lara going to different places to find out the mystery of this sword thing that made her mother disappear and her allegedly dead friend Amanda. As I started playing this game, I realized that either I really can't handle a PS2 controller or the camera is shit. Probably a bit of both. It really doesn't help when I'm trying to get a good look at my surroundings and Laura's all in my face. As you could probably tell from the opening, Lara gets around by climbing on stuff. Also by doing gymnastics on horizontal poles, quick-time events, and swinging on conveniently placed ropes. Throughout the game, you'll hear commentary from Zip and Alistair, two guys that are working with Lara and keeping an eye on what she's doing using a camera that I guess is on her head, but hell if I can tell where. And they seem to get amazing reception through that headset thing even when Lara is underground. Also, Alistair is a motion-sick wuss.
The video is going to make me sick if you keep on swinging, Lara.
Haha, loser. Nah, fuck it, I got motion sick from this game too. Why do you think this review took so long? The controls in this game are easy enough. The left joystick moves Lara and the right stick controls the camera. X jumps, triangle interacts with objects, circle crouches, and square grapples stuff. The D-pad controls health packs, binoculars, flashlight, and weapon selection. The L and R buttons are used for aiming and shooting with these two guns Lara always has on her. Trust me, they're always on her. Speaking of which, in this game you'll usually attack by shooting the hell out of everything. Even freaking jaguars. Wait, what? Jaguars? How the hell did they get in this temple? The way in is a death trap. And the way out is a death trap too. There's just no way. The game does have a lot of variety in its levels, I have to say. This game takes you all around the world to Bolivia, Peru, Japan, Nepal, and England, to name a few. Something I wasn't expecting in this game was all the puzzle solving. I guess I should have seen this coming, since apparently all ancient temples were designed by Professor Layton if he hated humanity. The puzzles are usually solved by moving boxes or balls around, grappling things, and using pressure plates, although there are some climbing puzzles to be solved as well. And of course there's a few boss battles throughout the game, but they're not that hard if you know what to do. Something I really didn't like was the driving stages. It's mostly because I suck though. Why is the bike so hard to control? Another thing that bothered me were the QuickTime events. I guess it's my fault for not being used to the PlayStation controller, but that didn't stop me from getting pissed every time I messed up. Since missing a single button leads to immediate death, it can get downright brutal. Oh my god! But yeah, those were really my only big problems with the game. I only had some difficulties at other times because I had no clue what I was doing. A common issue for me. Oddly enough, what I enjoyed most about this game wasn't the fighting or puzzle solving, it was the climbing. Just figuring out ways to get around obstacles and exploring new areas by climbing or swinging around was really fun. On that note, the level design really is great. It's pretty much linear, which some people might not like, but I'm cool with it because it means I won't get lost or confused. Well, I won't get lost as much as I usually do. And with that, let's finish things here. By playing this game, I found out that PS2 controls are not my favorite thing. The driving stages and QuickTime events kinda sucked, and if you get motion sick easily, the camera in this game will only make it worse, but if you don't, the camera is manageable, I guess. But all the same, I did have fun playing this game. Laura is a super badass protagonist, the gameplay is great, and the story is pretty interesting, even if it does get a bit ridiculous at times. I'd say check it out, if you haven't already. So to finish this off, I have good news, bad news, and amazing news. The good news is, I'm going to Com Bravo this year. The bad news is that I'm not famous enough to actually be a guest at Com Bravo. But maybe one day, though. That's never gonna happen anyway. Let me tell you the amazing news. We've reached over 100 subscribers! Thank you all so much. This really means a lot to me. As for the next review, I don't know what it will be, but if you want to see it, subscribe and it will be posted soon. I promise. And I can also promise that the next time you see me, I will have Jontron's autograph. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.